This video which I'm about to share with all of you, I cannot play the full clip because it will allow the video to be blocked worldwide. And I did try to see if it can be uploaded on my channel, but it unfortunately is blocked worldwide and it cannot be uploaded in its full entirety. So what I'm going to do is we are going to go frame by frame and I'm going to analyze this video for you. It's a commercial that is about basically Kobe Bryant doing a commercial with Nike, or for Nike should I say, and that is called the Black Mamba, and that is based upon his alter ego. Now it's quite interesting, yet that I'm fascinated at the same time by this because it just so happened to depict everything that transpired in 2020 as of recent with the late Kobe passing away. It was very difficult for me to find this because Nike deleted this from their own channel. And if you go to Nike's website, you will not find this video. You won't find this commercial or this ad anywhere that you search for online. There's one channel, and I believe that channel is a Chinese channel, and that is the only one that made a copy, or they downloaded it and they uploaded it on their channel. And I'm surprised that they didn't even get the video flagged. Upon examining this video, you will understand the great suspicion that is surrounding Kobe Bryant's death as of late, because it's just something seems to be off. Ironically, it just so happened to be that on the same day of his passing was the same day that Nike removed every single thing from Nike.com. You cannot find any of Kobe's products, any of his merch cannot be found in Nike's website. We can talk about this more after we analyze this video. Now check this out. Beginning from the very first scene of The Black Mamba, starring Kobe Bryant, a man by the name of Robert Rodriguez walks right into Kobe's office, and lo and behold, when we look at the scenery as they are greeting themselves, we observe the scenery. Right behind where Kobe Bryant sits, you clearly see on the left side of the screen, below the television, you can clearly see a serpent, a black serpent that is coiled around a stake. And its head comes down. It looks menacing. It's a menacing serpent. That is a black serpent. And it is no coincidence because Kobe Bryant calls himself the Black Mamba. This is his alter ego. And in fact, they mention that as well as they are speaking, as they're having this dialogue between himself and Robert Rodriguez. And then when you look at the basketballs, you will also find that there are 6 basketballs on the wall. And it just so happened to be that the window is shaped in such a way that it should resemble a basketball. However, I have a proposal for you, because when you look at what these people are involved with, it is not by coincidence that the window just happened to be shaped like an eye, because this is something that has to do with their cult. Everything is carefully placed there for a reason. Alright, now Robert Rodriguez mentions to Kobe that they want to make a movie, and they want to do basically a movie starring the alter ego of Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. Mr. Rodriguez begins by saying, you open up on game night. The scenery begins on game night. The bus pulls up to town. Kobe gets out of the bus, but there's nobody in town. No one is around. It's a complete ghost town. Very quiet. He looks around him. No one is there. And Mr. Rodriguez then says, there's no one in the bus. So now let's hold up and let's ask the question. The bus just pulled up. Kobe gets out from the bus, but there's no one in the bus. Which means now we have to ask the question, who pulled the bus up? Who was the driver of the bus? Someone drove Kobe there. He gets out, looks around. It's a complete dark night. Nothing, there's not a single soul on the road except for Kobe Bryant. Then Kobe says, so why don't you just get back on the bus? Rodriguez, bus blows up. Boom, and that's where you get the explosion. Alright, so there's an option that was open in Kobe's mind. Get back on the bus. But no, you're not going to get in the bus because that bus is going to explode. So far so good? Then Mr. Rodriguez asks, so what does anybody want from you when you roll into town? Kobe? To take the Black Mamba out. And when he says that, Rodriguez says, enter the Crippler. Now the Crippler is revealed. And when we see the Crippler, we finally see that the Crippler is a demonic being. He's half human, half devil. It's just a demon that comes to face off against the Black Mamba. And he calls him by his alter ego, Black Mamba, boss wants your shoes. That's what he says. It's quite interesting that he says, boss wants your shoes. And in response, Kobe says, still using them. In other words, I'm not ready to give up the shoes just yet. And then the Crippler says, not for long. Then they start to face off against the Black Mamba. And then after facing off with Black Mamba, what Kobe then does next is he reaches to a basketball. Again, uses Nike basketball, and it just so happened to be an elite basketball. And it's called the Elite, and you are seeing it right in front of you. It's as if everything is carefully placed. And that's because this choreography is carefully orchestrated. It's all meant to be. They picked those balls, that elite ball, for a reason. And upon taking that ball, then he was able to strike that ball towards the Crippler, and the Crippler was able to be defeated with a big explosion. And then Kobe asked Mr. Rodriguez, so what does the boss want? Rodriguez, boss wants to end your reign. Prove that you can be beat. Just doesn't think you're that good enough. Then he goes on to say that his plan is to take you down, defeat you, and then collect your shoes. Now I want you guys to think about this. Really? Shoes? Really? Do you honestly think that it's really all about shoes? What do shoes have? Well, shoes have souls. But in this particular subject matter, I have reason to believe that those shoes that have souls, these are actually pointing to, it's a subtle way of using the word soul. Does that make sense? So basically the boss wants to beat him and then take his soul. But all that can be explained afterwards. And then you have this boss figure who is standing in a dark place, and behind him are all shoes. And this boss is played by Kanye West. Now in the next scene, Kobe, the Black Mamba, goes and meets with Bruce Willis, who plays a character by the name of Suave. This character, Suave, tells him that boss wants to see him. And Kobe asks, what does he want? Answer, some take souls, some take scalps, boss takes shoes. Think about this. Do you honestly think that is it that difficult to discern what they are really referring to? He says boss takes shoes, that the boss doesn't care about souls, that he's not interested in taking scalps, but he's only interested in taking shoes. It's very interesting when you really think about this, because again, shoes have souls. And in this subject matter, I have reason to believe that it has to do with a soul. And it's quite interesting, as this character is played by Bruce Willis, tells him that boss wants to see him, and that boss is upstairs at the very top of the building. It's quite interesting that the Black Mamba does not deny any type of relationship with the boss. He acknowledges that the boss is his boss. If anything, Kobe is in a relationship with the boss. In other words, he has a contract with this boss. But the boss is coming now to end his reign, which means the boss is coming to terminate his employment or to terminate his contract. And upon terminating his contract with him, he is going to require of his soul. Rodriguez then says the boss collects some of the best basketball players in the world, but he has not yet gotten to the Black Mamba. He wants the Black Mamba to be next on his list, but time has not yet come for him to come to take the Black Mamba, because the Black Mamba is about to set the bar high, so that the only way that he's going to go is for his reign to be ended. Boss wants to end your reign. By ending your reign, he's going to take his shoes. And then Kanye West is revealed as the boss. Now, Kanye then throws a few shoes on the ground, and upon throwing them, these demonic, dead-looking zombie basketball players come up, and then they start playing against the Black Mamba. And then the Black Mamba basically beats them all, and he kicks them out of the building, out of the top of the building, one by one. Now it's quite interesting then that this boss man, played by Kanye West, who plays the devil, becomes very angry, and he starts cussing all over the place because he lost, or he was beat by the Black Mamba. And then he hops onto a helicopter to fly away. And then the elite ball that the Black Mamba was holding in his hand, that ball becomes a ticking time bomb. With only seconds left, he then threw that ball towards the helicopter, and that helicopter blew up in mid-air. Now it's quite interesting when you watch the scenery. What you will find is that the Black Mamba was in the middle of the court. Interestingly enough, upon the helicopter exploding, it then falls on the basketball court where Kobe was, and then he is gone. Where is he? No one knows. No one can explain. All we know is that the helicopter explodes, falls on the court, and Kobe's not there anymore. I don't know what the connection is, guys. You guys are going to have to help me. You guys are going to have to help me in the comment section. I mean, look, helicopter explodes in mid-air. A helicopter explodes and then falls on the basketball court where Kobe was, and Kobe is no longer there, as if he was consumed by the flames of the helicopter. I don't know. Help me to understand this, guys. What exactly does this scenery mean? I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just asking questions. What is going on? I think you guys are smart enough to connect the pieces. After the helicopter explodes, Kobe then speaks to Rodriguez. So what should I do then? Rodriguez answers, heroes come and go. After this, Kobe leans over and says, but legends are forever. Do you get it? Helicopter blows up, heroes come and go, but legends are forever. That means those who are considered heroes, they will come and go, but those who are legends will forever remain in history and be immortalized by the rest of the living. But in order to become a legend, you first must die. It's as if he knew that that was coming. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. What will it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world yet lose his soul? It does not mean anything. Now check this out. Boss wanted to take his shoes. Boss wanted to end his reign. Boss wanted to prove that he can be beat. Well, he beat those ghostly looking zombie figures, setting the bar high for the boss. The boss failed because the bar was set high. But his reign first must be ended before the boss can come and claim him. And guess what? The reign of the Black Mamba was ended the night before he passed away. The reign of the Black Mamba was ended when LeBron James, who calls himself King James, when he came and destroyed the Black Mamba's records. So in other words, LeBron James, this false king, crushed the head of the serpent, the black serpent. And now the reign of the black serpent had come to an end, which means the reign of the king has now begun. Does that make sense? So LeBron James conquered the serpent's records. And then the following day, the serpent was struck dead. Does it make sense? His reign was ended, and then the boss came to collect. Shortly after this, we go to Nike website. You will not find a single merchandise of Kobe on their website. You will search and you will search and you will not find it on Nike. It's as if they never had a contract with him. Isn't that interesting? What's also interesting is the helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California. That's interesting because guess what? Kanye West lives there. Isn't that interesting, and isn't that ironic that the boss just happened to be Kanye West, and at the same time this thing crashed right next to where Kanye West lives? I'm just asking questions, guys. I'm not making any assumptions. I'm just putting the questions out there. I'm just saying, isn't it interesting? I'm just challenging you guys just to think about this stuff. I mean, I'm just a guy. Kanye West is a regular guy who I have reason to believe has sold his soul. Why? Because Kanye said so. And I have reason to believe that Kanye West, even though he started his own church, that church is simply a deceptive church. I have reason to believe that all who partake in that congregation are going to be also candidates for receiving the mark of the beast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just a guy who's asking questions. I didn't make anything up. I'm just simply saying, hey, let's look at this frame by frame and let's just put the pieces together and just see if we can just find something interesting to talk about. So let's see what the comments say. What do you guys think about this stuff? That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking, guys. Like, I mean, helicopter, boom, and then, you know, legends are forever. I mean, and in order for you to be a legend, you first gotta be, you know, out to be considered legend. What does it profit a man if he should gain the whole world yet lose his soul? That's the main question. What will it profit you? Nothing. Seek Jesus Christ today while he may be found. Those of you who are watching, who love watching basketball, I will caution you. Please turn away your TVs, man. Get out from watching NBA. Don't watch basketball. Keep your eyes fixed upon Jesus Christ. That's where your eyes need to be fixed. Not upon the world, not upon the cares of it, not upon the entertainments of the world. Do not do that, because that is grievous. We must train ourselves to be children of the kingdom of heaven. And that begins now. Which means we must live our lives not for our own pleasure, but for the pleasure of our Heavenly Father, in which we do things that please Him. We live righteously. And we can't do that of our own strength. Only Jesus Christ can do that. That's why we must die daily to self, and we must live our lives and sacrifice our daily lives to Him. We must live our lives in full subjection to Him and to the will of the Father. This is all I will leave for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to cut the video here. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me. This is The Controversy 7. You take good care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time.